Hey everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. I'm just waiting on JB to arrive. And of course, our special guest for tonight, Peter Paul from Crapopolis. Until then, we're kind of just hanging out. And yeah, so hey, Yahoo, I see you here. How you doing, buddy? Um, yeah, we won't start the show proper until JB gets here or Peter gets here. Yeah, Peter gets here before, and then we'll go to start the show. You know what? Forget it. Hey, everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of From the Great North to Wonder Wharf, your one stop destination for bento box information. As always, I am Mike. For now, it's just me. Still waiting on JB to get here, and we're waiting for our guest to get here as well. Hello, Abby. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so tonight we're actually going to be sitting down with Peter Paul from the new show Crapopolis. He's going to tell us exactly what it went into making that show. A show that has yet to air a single episode, but already has 3 seasons greenlit for it. Of course, working with Dan Harmon, who we all know from shows like Rick and Morty. Let's see, Peter also worked on the Bob's Burgers movie, so we're going to sit down and talk to them about that and the what it was like to do storyboard work for the Bob's Burgers movie. We also have we're going to do a small post show or post interview show, so normal from North to Wharf after the fact. But until then, we're just kind of standing by for the interview. So yeah, I don't really. There's not really much in the way of news. The strike, of course, is still. Yeah, it's so we've been chatting on Instagram there, Adam, and seems like a super nice guy. Strike is still going on strong. As far as news on that front goes, apparently some independent studios like A24 are still able to go ahead and do their normal productions because it seems like A24 as a studio has seemed to have met the demands of the Writers Guild and the Screen Actors Guild, which I don't know. I can't speak for the actors or the writers. It seems like a good thing, but it also seems a little weird if one studio is doing it, obviously. And Sarah Silverman had this exact same um, uh, argument, I suppose. What she was saying was, it's on one hand, it's great that people are getting to work again, and it's great that studios like A24 are showing other production companies that, hey, our demands aren't crazy. You can do this. You see, you can do that. Um, but then at the same time, does it show a lack of solidarity between folks who are working on these projects and the greater good, the rest of the actors who are just kind of standing by and told to, you know what, no, nobody's working, nobody's right, but these people can. So it is a little weird to see that all develop now. Hopefully it doesn't divide. Hey, Victoria. Hopefully it doesn't divide the group, um, and they can still get their demands met by the larger companies, by the Netflix, by Disney, and stuff like that. So hopefully this doesn't end up dividing the group. But I mean, only time will tell. As far as I'm aware of, everyone seems to think that the strike will go on till next year. What that means for shows like Bob's Burgers, season 14 is going to be fine. Season 15 is what we'll need to worry about. Um, it's obviously going to be affected for those who know or don't know. Seasons are worked one season in advance. So when we're coming up on season 14 in October, they should have already been worked on season 15 um, for Bob's. Some scripts are probably done, but what this means is there can't be rewrites, there can't be punch ups, there can't be anything like that. Um, Sorry, just checking emails too. So as far as season 14 goes, as far as we know, it's a full 20 some odd episodes. The scripts were all finished up until the writer strike occurred, and they were all to a point where they were happy with them. Uh, so we're not terribly concerned about Bob's Burgers. As far as the Great North goes, we're still kind of in the dark with what's going on there. Um, sorry. Yeah. Something. We don't know what's going on with the Great North. We think it's getting moved to the springtime when other shows go on hiatus, but nobody really knows right now. Especially the folks on the show. We've asked some folks who work on the show in on the production side of things, and everybody's kind of in the dark on what's going on there. It's not getting canceled. We've stated that before, but it's kind of up in the air as to what's happening with season 4 of the Great North. At least as far as we know, we haven't heard any latest news, and Lord knows we're checking. But yeah, we're still waiting to hear on that. Of course, September 25th, we get the premiere of Crapopolis, which they had their they premiered the first episode at Comic-Con. If you were here last week, JB had told us all about that. And then that'll get a 2-episode premiere on September 25th, I believe. And then October 1st, everything, the new seasons of all the shows will start off. And sorry, everyone. So yeah, like I said, we're just standing by for Peter and JB to get here, and then we'll go ahead and start the interview. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, a little weird day today. What about y'all, everybody in the chat? How are you all doing tonight? Anybody seen Oppenheimer or Barbie, and what are your opinions on that? Personally, I loved them both. I thought they were both great. I know there's a lot of nutty folks out there going anti Barbie, and oh, there's our guest there. You gotta give me 1 second here, and I will pull up. Boom. There he is. Hello, sir.
Hi.
How are you?
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. JB is running a little late, so he gave me his blessing to go ahead and start. So
Okay, that's cool.
I think we're going to do that because last thing we want to do is waste any of your time. I know it's very precious. So,
Nah, it's same as yours.
oh, no. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
No different. We're all the same.
We are, except your job's a little cooler than mine. So, all right.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
You work in animation. I am a hired assassin, so your job's a little cooler than mine. So.
Oh, I'm an assassin in animation.
So you get it. We're both killing it. We're good. Hey, North to Warfers. Tonight we have a treat of sitting down and talking to a storyboard artist extraordinaire who worked on numerous projects, from Disney, DreamWorks, Illumination, and Netflix, to name a few. He is currently working for Bento Box and helped make one of our favorite movies, the Bob's Burgers movie, and on Bento's newest show, Crapopolis, by Dan Harmon. Not to mention, he also worked on... Oh, hold on. There we go. We had my note here. Not to mention, he worked on an animated series for the new Zack Snyder J. Olivia project, Twilight of the Gods. North to Warfers, help me welcome... Peter Paul. I am having burps tonight. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Thank you for inviting me.
No, thank you.
Great.
Thank you for coming on. I know right now it's a little weird as far as like the strikes going on and stuff. So before we got any farther, and I know folks may be wondering this as well, and if you can speak on it, cool. If not, no harm, no foul. How are you able to come on our show tonight?
The Animation Guild isn't really part of it, even though we support them completely.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know.
Okay, fair enough. And from what I hear,
I actually asked a few people if it's okay if I do this, and
mm-hmm.
I didn't get a negative, like a thumbs down or anything. So I guess I'll move forward, and because I feel slightly guilty of being here to just mentioning the show is like promoting it, and I know
Yeah.
that's like one of the things that actors and writers aren't supposed to do. Um, but because nobody gave me a thumbs down, then I guess I'm okay.
Well, at the very least, we will skirt around the newer projects, and we'll focus on some of the older stuff. But we'll definitely tiptoe around. And whenever you're not comfortable with something or a little hesitant, by all means, say, "Hey, no, 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 no." Uh,
I'll just disappear.
yeah, fair enough. Just a puff of smoke and you're gone. We were hesitant as well because as a now we're not members of any guild or anything, but we were curious as to what our role is in all this. Can we talk about stuff? Can we promote stuff? Even though, again, we're not part of any guilds or anything.
Oh,
But
you can. You definitely can.
that's what we figured. That's what we figured. Um, cool. So let's just get off with a softball question, super easy. What was it like as a kid, and what kind of childhood did you have growing up?
Oh, it was horrible. No, I'm kidding. No, let me see. What was it like? You mean like to draw and everything?
Yeah, yeah. Well, were you always a creative kid? Was something
Oh
art was something that pulled you in
no.
naturally?
I hardly drew anything as a kid. Like the normal, however many times kids drew, I think I would be the same. I
Hmm.
didn't do anything more than the average kid. I remember making crafts out of mirrors with elbow macaroni, spraying it gold. Looking back, I don't know why we even did that because nobody ever used it. You know?
It
So,
was the base level of art that everybody could probably do, I suppose.
yeah, but I rarely drew anything, at least from kindergarten on, that you know from class.
Hmm.
I do remember in first grade that when you draw stick figures and you'd had like five lines sticking out for hands,
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I drew the palm,
Oh.
then I drew the stick figures of fingers.
Uh-huh.
I started noticing things in first grade. How old is that? 6 years, 6 years old, five,
Yeah,
six.
yeah, give or take. It's been a while since I've been, but yeah.
So yeah, about 5 or 6 years old, I started noticing that's not how you draw hands. There's a palm before the fingers.
Hmm.
So and then it just started evolving. I started putting volume in the fingers and then the arms and the body, and so yeah, that I recognized that in about 5 or 6 years old, but I
Did
didn't think much of it.
mhm.
Yeah,
Did it come natural to you to start adding all the depth and all that stuff, or was it kind of just like rinse and repeat, and eventually it came to you?
I just noticed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it's natural. Yeah, I
Mm.
just noticed it, um and then I just did it. I never asked anybody or compared to anybody else. I just did my own thing.
Mhm.
But I hardly showed my work to anybody, and my parents never put my artwork on the refrigerator. I didn't have that.
Now, why didn't you show it off?
Why?
See, okay, now that's such a great answer because, like, when we do our thing here, people always wonder, like, "Oh, do you tell people that you do interviews and podcasts?" I'm like, "No, I don't. I don't tell anybody." And they're like, "Why not? It's so cool." It's like, who cares? Like, nobody
If you
cares.
ask me, yes, but nobody ever asked like, "Well, what did you draw today?"
Hmm.
Drawing was never part of the conversation
Mm,
until maybe sixth grade.
wow. Okay. Interesting. So, growing up, what were some of your favorite shows, and do you think that played into your art style any?
I have no idea. I liked. I grew up on Bugs Bunny and
Of
Scooby Doo,
course.
those kind of things.
Mm,
Let me see. What are the older ones? Oh, Flintstones,
yeah,
uh, and later on Simpsons.
of course.
Did that play into my art style? I really don't know. I kind of doubt it.
Hmm.
I think what played into my style were comic books.
Oh, okay.
Huge comic book geek. And I believe I started reading when I was 11.
Hmm. And
And
do you
I
pledge
still,
allegiance to either of the big houses, or are you kind of
oh,
all over the
both,
board?
both.
Nice.
I'm DC and Marvel. I don't like all this fighting.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I love both of them. I'm a huge Justice League and Avengers fan. Actually, they were my first. Justice League was my first DC,
Yeah.
and Avengers was my first Marvel.
Wow.
By coincidence, they happen. I love groups, super
Uh,
teams.
yeah, 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 yeah,
It's also more for your money, more
yeah,
for your buck.
yeah. Yeah.
There's more characters for that one, like dollar that you buy to the comic book,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
it's instead of just buying Superman or Thor.
Yeah,
No, you buy the Avengers and Justice League because it has more characters in it.
yeah.
You,
Like you said, it's more
or,
bang for your buck. It's a better value.
so I think the comic book artists had a bigger effect on me than animation.
Now, in this little sidebar, would you make your own comics with those characters growing up? And so, like, practice your skills any, or?
I drew them, but did I make a comic book? No. I I get asked that a lot. I mean,
Oh,
I always get asked like, "Oh, why did you make your own characters?" And my response was because I like this one. Oh,
boom!
why do I
Exactly.
make to? I want to improve on what's already existing instead of
Yeah, put
bringing
your own spin
something
on
in.
it.
I
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my phone ringing.
Oh, you can take it.
No,
Yeah, you want me to meet you?
no,
Okay.
it says
Yeah.
spam.
Oh, it's always spam. Yeah, it's always fun to put your own creative spin on a like Batman, let's
Yeah.
say, and say that's my Batman right there. Don't need anything original. That's my Batman as I envision it, and that's always
What
cool
I
too.
liked doing was creating my own team using characters that they don't use much.
Oh,
Like the more obscure characters, or the secondary characters. Not the big shots like Superman, Wonder Woman, Thor.
talking about like a polka dot man. What was
Okay,
it?
that's a little too obscure.
No
Like,
Condiment King.
no, no, oh god, that's so yeah. No, more like Martian Manhunter,
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
Metamorpho. If you even know who that is, Zatanna, um,
Yes, yeah.
those characters.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, everybody does Batman, so Zantana's really nice. So,
I even created an X-Men and type group
uh huh.
of like secondary Marvel characters,
Oh.
and I called them the Old Men.
You gotta pitch that. Maybe that's a thing we'll see in the future.
Yeah, I included characters that at that time weren't part of a team,
Hmm.
but they had similar powers to the X-Men. So like Iron Fist and Power Man,
Yeah,
Luke
yeah,
Cage,
yeah. Of course.
those guys, and a few more, of course, because it's a
Yeah,
whole team.
yeah. You need a whole group. So, what skills would you say are crucial to learn as a new aspiring animator slash storyboard artist?
Okay, that's a really good question.
Seems like a
Uh,
very loaded question too. Like, yeah, it's
it is, but I'm going to give an answer that isn't brought up often or
Mhm.
rarely brought up. So I'm not gonna talk about the drawing skills because that's obvious
Right.
because it's a
Hmm.
visual medium, so you
Hmm.
have to have drawing skills. But I notice a lot of artists, like if you're a story artist or whether you're an animator, everybody has different levels of skill. Some are
Hmm.
just bloody awesome. You, I just hate them. They're so good. And some are not quite so good, and you're like, why did they get hired? Yeah,
Yep, yep.
but
People say that about me all the time in my current job, so I get it. I
I'm
get
sure they say the same about me. But
it.
but I think more important drawing skills are observation skills
Hmm.
and adaptability.
Okay.
To For you to draw something, you have to be able to have the insight of somebody who observed things.
Okay.
Like if you're an animator, you need to observe how people walk, how people move, how specifically if
Hmm.
we're
Hmm.
talking a character, you have to watch them. You have to do a walk cycle, and that means you. I remember we had to like sit outside of the studio and watch
Hmm.
people walk, and just
Yeah,
observe. You know,
we've seen videos from other animators on specifically Bob's Burgers where they had a movement that Gene would have to do, and they weren't sure how to get it done, so they would film themselves doing the motions, and then just look over and over and over, and it's like, oh, that's how my arm moved, that's how I pushed up, and so yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying exactly. Yeah.
a lot of it's just observing, and um, everybody walks differently. Some have a little bit of limp, some
Hmm.
drag their feet, some
Hmm.
look like they are on drugs, so they're a little high. Like, whoa, a lot of pep in that guy. Um, and and the skill to adapt to anything. And this also goes with not just drawing, but working with people. You have to learn to observe how people work.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different personality. On Krapopolis, I work with 6 or 7 directors. A TV series has a handful of directors. A movie you
Right.
have 1 or 2,
Yeah.
maximum 3. But uh, a TV series you would have half a dozen average directors,
Hmm.
and each director will probably have 2 episodes each, depending
Oh,
on how
right.
long the series is.
Hmm.
You need to observe how they work. Everybody has a different personality. Some are more uh, hands-on than others.
Hmm.
I learned that at DreamWorks.
Sounds
Um,
like there's a story there, but yeah.
no, yeah, no, it is because I noticed how some directors just here's the script and then they let you go free,
Hmm.
young man, and do your thing as long
Uh-huh.
as it's in the right direction.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
your
yeah.
thing, and there are some who are more like, no, you got to be following the vision of the director,
Mhm,
which is your main goal is to follow their vision.
mhm.
But some directors tend to be more tight,
Right, yeah.
their vision. Some are, oh, I never thought of that. Yeah, let's do that.
Do you
That's
find, that you work better one way or another, either a more collaborative or a more strict
depends on
guideline?
my mood.
Yeah, yep. I hear you.
Yeah, it all depends on how I feel that day. It's um because sometimes if they let you loose, I'm like, oh, I need more direction.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and there are days when I'm like, no, 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 I'll do everything myself because I have something. I remember working with a director in another studio. Actually, he was my director at DreamWorks. But when I worked with him, it was in a different studio, and every time he gave me something to do, I never told him what I was up to. I just always surprised him, and he always ended up loving it. He just gave me an idea. Okay, you know, because when you work on film, a lot of times it's not everything's not on the script. It's
Mhm,
verbalized, like, so we're changing this, or we're gonna do this instead, and then you're like, okay, I got it.
mhm.
Um, and then you work on it, but I never give him a heads up of what I'm doing.
Mhm.
80% of the time he just loves it. He loves that I surprise him, and so I love that. But there are times when you're like, oh, I need more direction. What should I do for this?
Hmm.
Just depends on your mood.
Yeah, it's the not to compare jobs, but it's the same way in my job too. Mainly, I'll ask for direction if I don't want to be blamed if something goes wrong. And I'm like, hey, you tell me what to do. So when this blows up, it's your fault. But
Yes.
yeah. Now, hold on. Before I go any farther, let me go ahead and bring in my co-host here, JB. There he is.
Hello.
Hello, JB, Peter,
Hey, Peter.
JB. All right. Pardon me.
You're a little blurred.
Oh yeah, JB, you are a little blurry, but that's
Sorry.
it's all
That's
right.
okay. By the way, where are you?
Oh, me?
Both of you.
I'm in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, you're in Ohio.
I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida. Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, but yes.
No, it's fine.
No, it's pretty bad.
The climate, both weather-wise and political, is a little. It leaves much to be desired here. So,
Just a little
I
bit.
still have to visit Disney World someday.
hey, come on down, and we got the new Universal part coming out too. So.
The Mario. Yeah, Nintendo World.
Yeah.
That I
and
haven't
apparently
done
we're
before.
getting a Donkey Kong roller coaster with a jump track on it. So you'll have to come and check that out.
That's cool, actually.
Yeah. All right. Not to derail. I apologize. For college, you attended Cal State Fullerton and majored in illustration.
Yeah.
Was the plan to work on books and things or move more towards animation at that point?
I had no concept of animation. uh, I was mainly interested in advertising and fashion, actually.
Oh.
Wow.
When it comes to illustration, I wanted to do those movie posters that Drew Struzan did of like Raiders of the Lost Ark and
Star Wars and those ones.
His illustrations are just amazing. I just loved it, and I love doing portraiture. So when I realized I had that skill, I'm like, "Ooh, I could use this on movie posters." So and then I saw Drew Struzan's work. I'm like, "Ooh, I wonder if I can do that." So that was an idea. I didn't pursue it. It was just an idea of. I had so many things I liked. I couldn't focus on one thing.
That's usually an artist problem.
Album covers. I know some
Yeah.
album covers. Like, oh, of course we don't have too many albums right now. But even CDs, like who buy CDs anymore? Actually, I did, but
I got 3 booklets worth over there, so somebody's buying them.
because
They're still making them.
Like, whoa, the artwork, the album cover artwork is almost gone, but I remember wanting to do album cover. I remember doing a Madonna cover, like for my own project, like in class. I had a class called Self Studies, and so you create your own project. So the project I did was one of them was an album cover, and it was Madonna. I drew her portrait, and then did it on blue because I think the song was Blue or something.
It makes sense. Yeah, no, it's a little on the nose, but yeah.
Yeah, so that, and I like advertising also. I get annoyed when my brothers and I would watch TV, and as soon as there's a commercial on, they'll switch to another show.
Oh,
and I'll go, no, stop! I want to see the commercial. It's so weird.
No, that's the only reason half the country turns in for the Super Bowl either. So
Exactly.
We're here for
And
the
then we
commercials.
rate the commercials.
That was a normal thing. Like they would watch sports, and I would be like, can we watch comedy?
Just something else, please.
Since they're older, I can't I'm vetoed all the time.
Yeah. So you had mentioned that like you never thought of animation as at that point as like something you could do. Was it something like were you doing it on the side just for fun, or were you like I can't do animation? I'm good at drawing, and we'll keep it at that. No.
Oh, wow.
We're just gonna draw.
No, could you repeat that?
Yeah. So, like at this point in your life, were you thinking like I'd like because at that point you can draw, you know how to draw. Did you ever think I'd like to try animation, but it's not that serious?
Oh, okay. The one time that animation came into mind was in 10th grade
Oh.
because my best friend at that time wanted to be in animation.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to school for it, like summer or something. And all I could think of was like, oh my God, you gotta be so good to work at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that years
And
later I would be working at Disney. I never, I hate to say this, I didn't plan on being in animation. I just, it fell on my lap.
you
Hey,
actually are not our first person to say that.
no.
A lot of people are like, I just kind of like
I
I'm
stumbled
thinking-
backwards.
When I was doing some research for your questions, I saw one of your connections was Mike Penkith, who like I'm buddies with, and we've had him on for an interview before, and he said it literally fell into his lap. He was just like, I wanted to work at Disney because my buddy worked there, and I didn't know how. So they said, hey, can you do storage stuff and like store information and like file stuff for us? And he's like, yeah. And then all of a sudden he's like, now I'm an executive producer on Bob's, and I don't really know exactly how that happened. But I'm here. So
That's a
kinda
cool jump. Mine
Yeah.
was I was a graphic designer first. That was the job I got when I was in college, and then after college, I continued working as a designer. And after a few years of that, the company downsized and got rid of the entire art department.
Oof.
So all of a sudden, I was out of work, and then it was like one of those life crisis where you go, what am I gonna do now?
It's like I have to find something.
And all I could think of, because the life of an illustrator was that I was aware at that time was freelancer. And so if you work on one project, after that you gotta go look for another job. I'm like, what kind of life is that?
Like another gig, yeah.
And this is before digital, so you have to physically drive to different places and drop out your portfolio in LA, and all I could think of was like, that's crazy. I can't do that. I can't imagine doing that. So like all I could think of was, is there a normal 9 to 5 job? I couldn't think of anything. And the only thing that came into mind was, I love comic books. Maybe I'll try to be a comic book artist. I've been reading comic books for a while. I love them. And so I tried to make a portfolio, because you need that to apply for comic book companies. And then I realized, you won't believe this, I couldn't draw.
That's kind of the only thing you need to do. That's the job.
And and then people ask, like, you can draw? Like, yeah, but with reference, I could draw anything. Drawing a comic book.
And this coming out of here is so different. Yeah.
And so I was making my sample, and I had to draw a character flying. How do I draw that with the correct angle? And like, I can't ask my friend to, okay, hover above me and I'll draw you. Like,
yes,
okay, that would mean setting them up on a ladder, and then you're gonna be right below them.
And then it's all like lighting, and you got to remember where the light source. It's all technical, and it's not always fun.
I'm like, wait a minute, my drawing skills are limited. I need to go back to school and learn how to draw better. So I did. I I went to the Animation Guild, which was not called the Animation Guild at that time, and a friend of mine recommended a live drawing class, and they let me sit in. Thank goodness, because they normally won't let you sit in for free. They let me sit in, and just 5 minutes into the class, I just thought to myself, I gotta take this class. Just in 5 minutes, I already learned I need to be in this class.
Mhm.
So I took a lot of life drawing classes, gesture, life drawing, construction, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so this falls into Warner Brothers coming in recruiting while I was in class, and
Oh.
like, hey, we're doing a movie. Would you like to apply? To everybody. Not me.
Yeah, I'm here for free. Yeah, sign me up. I'd love
And
that.
I didn't say yes the first time because I'm like, I'm not ready.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm just kind of learning stuff here. They came back a few months later, like, we're recruiting again. Send in your portfolio. By that point, I'm like, okay, my unemployment check is running out.
Yep.
I better put this together
Mhm.
and apply. And I sent them a cover letter saying, I don't know anything about animation.
I mean,
Solid start.
I
Solid
have to
start.
appreciate the honesty. Like, I don't really know any of this, but I'd love to be part of it.
I just said, but I love to draw.
Yeah.
Bold cat italics in the bottom, but I love to draw.
Hmm.
A few weeks later, I get a phone call, and I was in.
See,
That's
I'm
incredible.
I'm of the mind that regardless if you know the job or not, if you have the basic skills and have the willingness to learn, they'll take you on 10 times out
That's
of
like
10.
half the battle because they
Yeah.
want someone who just is eager to do it and learn.
Well, I also was lucky that they were desperate.
This wasn't Spaceballs, the animated show, was it?
No, it's Space Jam.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay. The
Oh
little
yeah,
movie, the little
a
yeah,
little movie called Space Jam.
Movie, but not so famous basketball player named Michael uh,
some Jordan, I think. I don't know.
Jordan or something like that.
He's out of the league now. He couldn't hack it. He's
Yeah.
Yeah,
out.
I used to play
Yeah.
baseball.
he was better at baseball. Yeah.
But yeah, they were desperate for animators, and so they trained us. There were 12 of us that was hired. They trained us to animate.
Mhm.
Well, to be assistant animators, actually, not to animate.
Did you do like fill-ins or like rough?
It's called in betweening.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that
what
one.
it is.
So it's really sad on my first day when they say in the training program, the first thing they tell us to do, okay, animate a bouncing ball. I just looked at her. I'm like,
Did you
what?
read my cover letter? I don't know this.
I can do the in-betweens.
I did
can
tell
do-
her, but I asked the guy behind me on the other desk, like, what am I supposed to do? What's a bouncing ball? And then there's this paper, back when animation was done.
Where they'd flip and
Yeah.
When you flip it, and it's got weird holes on the bottom because they're not all circle. Some are like rectangular shape. Like,
Mhm.
what do I do with this? So the guy behind me showed me how to do a bouncing ball.
They have an app now. It's an animation app, and it's literally that. You'll draw one thing, add a new reel or something,
Yeah.
and it's literally just the outline of what you did before, and then you just move it down to the next one, and then next, and then you hit play, and it's
yep.
Yeah.
it's
It
wild.
kind of shows you how to do it. It's crazy. I wonder if you worked with Tom Riggin at all.
On Space Jam.
That was like
yeah.
he was. I guess he worked on that. That was like one of his favorite things he worked on.
It's possible. It was my first movie, and I was still kind of shy, so I didn't know too many people. I didn't walk around. No, okay, I did walk around, but I didn't.
I didn't
You just
introduce
stayed-
myself.
You just
I
stayed in
didn't
your
want
office.
to. Yeah, I didn't want to be known as the guy who didn't know how to do the ball thing. So I just kept to myself.
They already knew that, but
Yeah.
but when you're new, you're kind of too shy about talking to everybody because everybody's got their desks and
Yeah.
doors and whatever, and like feels like you're bugging them.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I did walk around a bit because we had 4 floors, I think,
Mhm.
in this one building, and it was so cool to walk to other floors and see what they do that isn't animation. Like they were doing layout, and some was the development area, so they were developing other shows and movies.
Oh, okay.
So cool.
Oh, so it wasn't 4 floors of Space Jam then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I even found out later that there were other buildings in the city that was working on Space Jam. Warner Brothers was
Wow.
We were split up
Mhm.
different buildings.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So when did you decide that you were going to make animation a career? At this point, it sounds like I don't even know a bouncing ball. I can't
Oh.
do this. So when did you say, I'm going to do it for a job now?
I never thought of a career. I
Yeah.
just wanted a job. The job became a career. So
Mhm.
it just kind
It just kind of
Happened by-
happened and fell into it.
of by osmosis. So
I mean,
didn't come in
not that
looking
working
for
on Space Jam would be a big deal or anything.
See, everybody, it's that easy. Just don't want to do it, and then it'll happen for you. It's
Yeah.
that
So
simple.
may I mention something?
Yes,
Like
please.
or the first day of work, they took us on a tram, like one of those tour trams,
Mhm.
to the studio, and I saw the
Mhm.
big giant water tower, the WB water tower.
Yeah.
And I kind of geeked out. There were 12 of us in trainees, and I was the only one that spoke up, which is unusual because I'm usually really quiet. But when you're a geek, you kind of tend to be more open.
Yeah.
And I looked at it like, oh my god, that's where the Animaniacs live.
Okay, so I'm not the only one. Okay.
Yeah.
I said that on the WB tour when me and my wife went, and I was like,
Mhm.
they come out of that symbol right there.
If we wait long enough, that thing's going to
Mhm.
open up, and they're going to come right out.
And,
I was
and
like,
the
that would
rest,
be a cool animatronic, and they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's not
the rest
happening.
of the people on the bus and the tram was so quiet and like, and I looked at them going, "What's wrong with you people? We're in animation."
Our buddy Mario on the Great North, he actually started on Animaniacs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he's my hero because I love the Animaniacs.
Yeah. So, oh, excuse me. You started out like many others, working on small projects and gaining and honing your skills. Was there a time that you felt like maybe this isn't the life for me, or did those moments allow you to challenge yourself more and say, I belong here?
So
So
that is a really cool question.
Credit to JB.
But I didn't work on small projects.
no, I started looking at your thing.
Yeah,
You didn't.
clearly not. I started off with Space Jam, and it only got bigger.
No, actually, before animation, when I was a graphic designer, I worked on huge projects. I was working for an engineering construction firm
Oh,
whose clients are large oil companies and countries. So our projects were bigger than anything animation would ever do.
So what you're saying is you helped draw up the designs for that tallest building, and I believe it's not Iraq. Where is it in the
Saudi
Middle East?
Arabia.
Yes.
Saudi
Yes.
Arabia.
That was
Okay.
yours. That's what you're telling us. You did that. That's how big you are.
Well, close. That particular one, but
I only worked on the first couple floors.
no, we had a presentation that I was helping put together for a cultural center in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, jeez. So not too far off.
Sure,
So,
why not?
No, it was taller than the building in that cultural center was taller than any building in the world. So it was really early, and we did a fossil plant, I believe, for Egypt. And so we were making this brochure about the plant for the president of Egypt or something, and
As you do. Yeah.
the whole thing was in Arabic, and I can't read any of that stuff. But I just for fun, I proofread the entire brochure because I'm anal, and and I found an error, and I asked the translator, "Could you check this? Because I think there's an error in the spelling." No,
So not only do you not speak Arabic, but then you also proofread and corrected it.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Yeah.
Because I
Makes
just
sense.
look at patterns. It's like I checked a few words that I could figure out, and then I'm like, wait, this word doesn't look right, the pattern.
Oh.
And so I had it checked, and then they said, yeah, you're right. Let's go.
So clearly you've eased your way into all of this, is what it sounds like. You started very humble doing buildings in Saudi Arabia.
But
and you did space shuttle.
Even a freeway in Riverside County here in LA.
The Peter Paul Expressway.
I was drawing the freeway map.
Yeah, just off the 5. You can catch it.
So you just hit the ground running.
So what was the question? Oh yeah, what was?
Yeah.
Was there a time that I felt like this isn't the life for me?
Yeah. It was like, maybe I'll go get a regular Joe Schmo 9-to-5 job like Mike here.
No.
No, because I'm good at this, so no.
No, but the time when I felt like, man, there's got to be something better, was when you get laid off from a production.
Ooh, yeah.
And you're between jobs, as they call it in Hollywood. I mean, between jobs. And my family, my friends couldn't understand, like, how do you live like that? You finish a show, and then you're out of work, and you don't stay at the studio forever. Well, some people do. I don't have that luxury or that luck. My luck tends to run like 4 years, and then
it's been a long 4 years, though.
Yeah. So that happened at Disney and DreamWorks and probably Bento, but oh my God,
are we getting?
No.
Edit
out.
I was like, we're not anywhere, I hope, close to 4 years on that.
Well, I did 3 seasons on Duncanville, and now I'm coming up to the 3rd season on Krapopolis.
Oh, see, we're already past the 4 years. We're good.
So, but yeah, the in-between stuff. I remember my dad was telling me, even though I already did Space Jam and Disney, he goes, why don't you get a regular job? And I'm like, I don't know what else to do. I like this. I don't like being laid off, but I like this. So does that answer that question?
Yeah, no,
it
does. Like personally, I couldn't do it. Like, my pragmatic brain tells me, hey, there's no stability here. You gotta move. That and lack of talent is keeping me from doing this. But it's the pragmatic side that says I need the stability. I need that safety net. So I always give praise to folks like yourself who can say, no, I believe in this and I believe in my skills and I'm gonna keep on keeping on. So
yeah, cool. My parents are very practical, and they just like, my dad even told me, like, hey, I got a job that I didn't care for, but I just needed to support you kids.
Yeah. I don't even have kids, and that's where I'm at now. Yeah.
So like, making me feel guilty, right? So
All you gotta do, Mike, is just take a life drawing class. You'd be all
There you
in.
go. I'm gonna draw people, and there you go. Then I'll do Space Jam.
I just
Simple.
like rely on luck that I'll find the next job.
Well, it's such a and what we've learned from doing all of these
Mhm.
interviews here is it's such a small community that like reputation and like if folks know you're a good person to work with, and obviously the skills are there, that'll take you very far. So
Yep.
So
Because even like just
I need to work on my reputation.
even like
Yeah,
just
no, we're
today,
past that.
someone posted something about if you need a gig, reach out. It just seems like it's that community and that attachment to like if you know someone who needs help, just send them my way. I'm open to like bringing people on, so it's always cool.
It does work.
And you never know, maybe somebody out there needs a bouncy ball drawn, and then you're right back in there. So you're all
I
good.
can do it.
There you go.
Several times. I can
Yeah.
do it.
Up, down, you got it. So what's the difference between, because you've done live action and also animation, so is there a difference between working in live action, animation, or feature films?
Yes.
Yeah, no, those are three different things. You called them three different things. Obviously,
Okay,
they're different.
live action. There are less when it comes to storyboarding.
Mhm.
There are less panels to draw.
Okay.
That makes sense.
You're focusing on just placement of camera, the direction of camera or movement. What I love about live action, at least when I did it, I love being on location.
Well,
yeah, for
that's
sure.
true.
I love working right there on the spot and like, okay, now draw this. and like we would have a trailer, but I hate being in a trailer because it's so claustrophobic. And
Yeah.
It's
so
tiny.
I'll just go outside. And plus, when people walk on the trailer, it wobbles. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah, it's not stable.
I'll go outside. I'll go find a table or something. Fortunately, we were next to a park, so there were benches. But I remember working at Universal Studios. I mean, we were filming at Universal Studios, and we turned one of the areas into a zoo, a fake zoo.
Mhm.
You know, they built a thing that looks like a zoo, and we had I believe, an eagle there, a trained eagle,
Just hanging out with an
who
English.
who either loves man or are completely distracted by man. That all the men had to hide when they're filming. The eagle will be looking at us.
Just
Just ready to
staring.
peck your eyes out.
Yeah, so because the eagle won't like listen to instructions because you're, ooh, guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know if like the eagle hated us or they just love us, but they're just distracted. So all the men had to hide.
It's got to be fun the first day when you don't know which one it is. Either they like you
Yep.
or they hate you, and you show up and it's just like, "Ah!" You're like, oh shit, no, they hate us. We gotta go. We gotta
I
go.
always like hid behind a tree or something.
Good call.
Eventually, I just walked away and I just started working, and there was no place to sit down. So I found a large rock to sit on, and I needed a desk. I found this really dirty old cardboard box, and I used that as my desk.
Adapt
And
and overcome. Yeah.
that was me
Yeah,
just
the
adapting
glories
to
of
the environment.
Hollywood.
You
Yeah.
know? So, like not very glamorous because like, man, that thing was dirty. I didn't have anything to wipe it off. I was just sitting with my hands, but it was still fun, working outdoors and going in different locations. I had to work in Chinatown at 7 in the evening to 7 in the morning. It's a 12-hour days, by the way.
Yeah.
Working live action, and 3 o'clock in the morning, oh man, people were falling asleep.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, because you got to get that night shot, and you can't do it at like 8
It was
p.m.
awesome because there's so much waiting in live action.
Yeah.
All these people had to just sit there and wait, and they're sleeping.
Yeah.
And I'm like staring at everybody. The only people working were the director, the videographer, and the cameraman. That was it. Everybody was passed out, and I was just staring at them
Just waiting.
like, is that okay to take a nap? Because I have nothing to do. I already did my job. I'm waiting for the director so I can show him what I did.
Mhm.
I already have a box picked out. Could I just take a nap?
So, and it was cold and drizzling and 3 in the morning. It was awesome.
Yeah, I bet.
And that's when I figured out animation was for me.
So, but that's actually live action. So,
Yes.
now animation, you're stuck in a studio.
Yeah.
You're stuck at a desk, and if you're doing storyboards, you have to do 10 times more, if not 20 times more panels than you do in live action, because now you also have to have your characters act.
Mm-hmm.
For them to animate it, they have to know how the characters are acting.
Yeah.
So this is storyboarding is pre-production. So everything we do, we follow the script, but the animators have to follow our boards, when ours are approved. So we have to do the right kind of acting. It's I believe there's more panels if you do TV series compared to, not I believe, it is. I know that.
I know.
In features, you don't do as many panels and storyboarding, but in TV, you kind of have to kind of almost animate the acting,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's something very specific. And if you're doing action, yeah, you got, oh my god, that's even more work. You really have to draw you have to do the choreography of the action. It's like a dance. It is a dance, except people get their heads cut off. And
Of course.
yeah,
It's a very intense dance. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go.
So, of course, our bread and butter, of course, is Bento Box Entertainment and the shows within there. And you got your start with Bento working on Duncanville. What was that like to work with this team and a show that lasted for 3 seasons?
Duncanville, the timing for that was really amazing because within a year, I started thinking I want to work at Bento.
Really?
But I never did anything about it. It was just something in my mind. I thought about it because, I'm like, well, I already worked for Disney. I worked at this company, at this studio. I'm like, oh, I've never worked for Bento.
Now, was it because you enjoyed the product that they put out, or did they have a good reputation? Like, I want to go work there.
Well, Bob's Burgers,
of course,
was the most popular thing, and I'm like, and I just started thinking, I have never worked for them. I wonder what it's like, or maybe I should consider that. So it was just in the back of my mind. And then a few months later, it could be weeks, I'm not sure, I get a message from this guy I used to work with, but I never worked with him in story. I think I worked with him in animation. This is really amazing animator. His name is Brian Manolfi, and he is also a director on Paradise.
PD.
Mm-hmm. But he worked on a lot of classic Disney movies, like animation. And so he's like super awesome. And he just out of the blue contacted me, and then we met at Starbucks in Burbank. I'm like, hey, I'm working on this thing. I want you to be on the show. Okay.
It's that easy.
Yeah. Just like Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Just put it out there and just wait.
and so we along with another story artist, we did the pilot that was pitched to Fox. And knowing that it was Amy Poehler project made it awesome because I love.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, of course. This is right. Wait, this was right during like the height of Parks and Rec, right? Or did Duncanville come
I think
well
it
after?
Oh, it
was.
was
I
after.
can't
It was
remember.
It
after.
was after, but she was riding that high,
But
right on.
but not
that.
like too far after, right? If I remember correctly, or maybe I'm
I'm
wrong.
not sure when
Yeah,
Parks.
Maybe it'd
yeah.
been like a year or so after that
Yeah.
last season they did, because they
But
took like a gap
I was a
year.
huge fan of hers in SNL. So
Mhm.
Of course.
and then
Oh,
she
yeah.
did Parks. So so yeah, like, oh my god, she's part of this, or she created this or something. And like, yeah, count me in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All about it.
It's just so cool, because I'm like, it's Amy Poehler. Hello.
Yeah. Well, was there any kind of pitch as to what the show would be, or was he like, "Hey, it's Amy Poehler, I'm in. I don't. She's great. I trust her work."
He told me what the show is about, and it was about a 15-year-old slacker named Duncan, and he has big dreams, but he doesn't want to work on it. Sounds like me, but
Hey, same here. Same here.
high five.
Yeah.
So, but Brian was so patient and generous with me because it had a different style of story that I'm familiar with, and equipment that I'm not familiar,
Yeah.
called Storyboard Pro. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh crap.
Yeah.
Like,
another thing to learn.
Did you hand him a piece of paper and says, "I don't know how to do this. I like to draw"?
I was already hired. I had no idea. I'm like,
It was too
oh
late.
shoot, what did I get myself into?
Okay, so it's like when normal people like me say, "Yeah, I know how to do Microsoft Excel," and then you don't.
Well,
And
it was never mentioned.
okay, so it's his fault. It's his fault.
Yeah. So it was the first day, and like, here, board this, and I did it on paper.
No.
And
It's
like,
like,
oh,
no.
do we don't work on paper?
What is this currency not good here?
I'm sorry.
Well, the previous shows that I worked on at Warner Brothers and Disney and DreamWorks, we used Photoshop to storyboard, not Storyboard Pro. Even
Oh.
TV shows, usually use Photoshop for movies.
Yeah.
But the shows that I had, a TV series like Dragons,
Yeah.
or Green Eggs and Ham, which is on Netflix, that was all done on Photoshop. Not Storyboard Pro, even though it's a series. So when I got Duncanville, I'm like, how do you do this? I had to work with like YouTube on my left, and then because every time I would do something, like, okay, how do you do that? I would Google, how do you do this? I'm like, okay, study that. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I just learned how to draw a figure.
Yeah, YouTube will
We were
teach
on our
you.
way.
YouTube can teach you anything. Our the guy
Yep.
who set up all the electronics in our house, he's a master electrician who learned everything from YouTube. So
Yeah.
don't go to college, kids. Just watch YouTube.
Oh, by the way, YouTube doesn't have everything. So there's like maybe 20% that I'm like, okay, I'm completely like stuck here. I on the internet is no help whatsoever. I mean, every place I could look for has nothing on this specific problem. So I had to go to my director and go, I don't know how to do this.
Hey, Google doesn't have this. I need you to tell me.
You couldn't just like look behind the person behind you and be like, how do you do this?
There were only 3 of us, and usually there's nobody in me.
Yeah, you
So,
can't be at the end of the line. Yeah,
I was kind of like, I'm on my own here. I have to wait until we come back into work the next day, and like, okay, I don't know how to do this.
You also don't want to be the guy who's like, I don't know how to do this, and everybody's like, oh, Peter doesn't know how to do this. So
Well, you know the funny part is I found out that almost everybody doesn't know everything.
nobody
Like
knows nothing.
I noticed on a lot of shows, like I would see on like their our message board, like a director will go, "How do you do this?" And I'm like, "Oh, cool! I'm glad I'm not the only one who doesn't know how to do that."
We're all faking it right now.
Yep.
Nobody knows.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yay for
That's what we were
ignorance.
taught.
Yeah. So in 2019, you worked as a layout artist for the Bob's Burgers movie. What exactly does a layout artist do?
I don't know.
Fair enough. Moving on. So then what did you do that might or might not be considered a layout artist?
Okay. My
My role
my understanding
is I just use paper.
is
Ask
I
the
use
director.
paper and I use the ruler.
Yeah.
And no, okay. The story. How should I say this? We make sure that the storyboards are technically accurate, accurate enough so for the animators to work on it. For instance, there's a sequence in the hidden layer in the movie.
Mhm.
This isn't a spoiler, right? Because it's
Oh,
2018.
It's been out 2 years at this point, especially not for this crew. We all
Yeah,
know.
I think it is script. So that hidden layer, there's that organ thingy, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna say piano because the next word I'm gonna
Yeah.
use is gonna be really associated with organ. So
All right. All right.
piano. There's this knob on the piano board.
Let's be adults about this, everybody. Come on.
Shit. Can I? Should I say organ?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you were right. Knob.
There's
Yes,
this
knob.
knob on the dashboard of the piano organ thing, where the character has to pull it.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So there's a knob on the
So-
organ, and we have to pull it.
So
No, I
if
got
this
it.
is the
It's-
knob, here's the hand.
Yes.
I have to make sure that the hand actually is in contact with the knob. So when he pulls it,
Mm.
instead of like this, there's a
Yeah, like
space.
right before it
Oh.
has to actually
Yeah.
show him holding
Actually,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
So
So what you're saying is you had to make sure that the character had a good grip on the organ knob before he pulled it.
wow, you said that without laughing. That's very good.
I'm an adult and I am a news reporter, sir.
He's a paralegal.
I'm a paralegal. We got to be adults about
I'm
this.
kind of not. So
It's not a bad thing.
I laugh at everything. Okay, so so that's an example of how technical I have to do. There's in the same room, in the hidden room, you have that bar, okay, and there's all this bottles and then glasses and stuff on the bar.
Yeah.
I had to make sure it's the same amount of bottles and they're in the right position, even when the camera moves from a different angle.
Oh, so
So
like a
they stay the
continuity thing?
same. Yeah, so they stay the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
So people like Adam don't point it out later on the forum.
Yeah, looking at you, Adam, in the chat.
I even had to make sure that the liquid in the glass is the right height.
Amounts.
Mm,
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Because like if it's full in one shot and then it's not on the next one, then like the animators are gonna copy that.
Yeah.
And then some fan will go, "Hey, there's something wrong here. We want to make sure."
Yes, we will. Yes,
You
we
know.
will.
We will.
We want to make sure those are accurate. So that's part of what I did in layout.
Some people will release secrets years later. They'll be like, "Oh, that planetarium thing that we did with Zenipede, yeah, we just flipped it twice because I'm not going to animate that twice." It's
Yeah.
the same people, we just put different colored shirts on it, and it's like, no. It's like, yeah, we did. It's a money saver.
Yeah, so I do that. It's a lot of stuff like that.
So it's technical.
Yeah. So were you working on the movie from the very beginning, or because obviously this movie started before the pandemic, got um, put on pause, put on hold during the pandemic, and got released long after it was supposed to. Were you there from the beginning, or did they bring you on kind of in the middle after the fact, or when did you start working on the
I
movie?
worked on it right before the pandemic hit, so I finished my tour of duty, if you want to call it, uh, like months before the pandemic hit. So
Mhm.
I already moved on to the next season for Duncanville when the pandemic hit.
Okay.
So yeah,
Cool. Nope. Yeah. Got it. As an animator, obviously you've worked on Space Jam. You worked on Bob's Burgers, the movie. Did it feel any different, or was there any like bigger sense of pose seeing these two giant things that you worked on movies, getting their theatrical release? Did the feelings change in between those two, or was it always, oh, this is all, we're never gonna get tired of this?
oh, it's always a cool thing, but
Mm.
the first one is always unique
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because I remember watching my name go up in the credits in Space Jam,
Yeah.
and my eyes started watering.
Oh.
And I was really quiet.
Yeah.
I was like,
And you just stand up and clap, and it's a great experience.
no, I just sank in my seat, going, oh my god.
And then when
That
Bob's Burgers goes
feeling.
by, you're like, those stupid glasses weren't right.
Yeah.
Now the Bob's Burger experience was different, but it was also unique because when the credits came up, the layout department names came up really quickly, like
Mm.
really close to the beginning. Usually you have to wait towards the middle, like, oh, I'm waiting for my name. This one came out really quick, and I was so shocked that there were only two of us credited.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, is that all? I mean, it's a movie.
It felt like I didn't do the whole, like half the thing. Someone else, there had to have been more of us.
But I failed to realize that the other layout departments were working for other studios.
Yeah.
And so they were listed under a different category.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like the studio name.
But you were under the Bento one, which came up first.
Yeah, which was the first one. So I was like, sadly, the other person in the team, Jesse, he passed away like a few months ago, recently.
Oh.
And but yeah, there were just the two of us in the layout department. That was like, I had no idea. that was weird because I'm usually part of a bigger group.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's all riding on Peter's shoulders.
You want to know why all those knobs look so good? That's Peter. Peter did those knobs.
Yeah, knob boy.
Knob boy.
Okay, edit
pulling those knobs. Nope. That's going to be the title of the episode. Knob boy, Peter Paul.
That's a new series on Bento Box. Knob boy.
You gotta use your credit card to get that one. Yes. Yeah. So ever since the Bob's Burgers movie came out, we've noticed the show itself, maybe not as a whole, but little bits have become more cinematic, more movie-like. Do you think shows like Bob's Burgers and Crapopolis, do you think they should continue going that route of making things a little more cinematic, like making like TV style, or movie style, but for TV, or is that even possible?
The answer is yes.
Yep.
I mean, why not? If we have the budget for it, yes, because it's just awesome to do. It's a lot of work, but it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also thinking, I think it would be fun to do a singular type episode where you focus on one character.
We've pitched that idea before.
Yeah,
Yes,
we want that bad.
Like I want to see Gene, like an episode just about him.
We've pitched that idea, and then there's an episode of The Simpsons where they go from character to character to character.
Yeah.
And we were like, that'd be cool too, to like go to like all these ancillary characters and see what their day's like.
Yep.
And nobody's gotten back to us yet, but
we pitched Ron, we pitched like Hugo, Bosco. We definitely pitched Roller Skate Guy just to see like what does he do.
Oh, Roller Skate
Guy he goes
would
through the whole city,
awesome.
so he could see everybody.
I was thinking I don't know if you followed or if you've seen a G.I. Joe comic book where it was a silent episode. It was Snake Eyes episode. Not episode.
Issue.
Comic book, not an episode.
You know those episode of comic books? Yeah.
And it's all silent. There's no dialogue. It was so cool. I think it would be awesome to do a Buzzburger or Krapopolis where there's no dialogue except sound effects.
They did something similar to that in the Blade Runner episode. It was like 15 minutes of no dialogue, just music, or 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah,
but, okay, that's true.
Well, I do think it's definitely Emmy bait because BoJack Horseman did it and they won an Emmy for it. He didn't say anything until the end of the episode where the guy was like talking to him and he's like, can't hear you. And he's like, use the button. And then he's underwater, so he hits the button. He's just like, idiot, use the button. And he's like, oh God. Like the whole episode, he could have talked and said stuff, but he didn't because he didn't know he had hit a button on his helmet. So yeah, it wasn't until the end where he's just like, oh. And that was it. But it was a good episode, and it won, I think, an Emmy because it's like it was just quiet with music the whole time. There were sound effects, and that was about it.
I'll have to look it up.
He goes underwater for some award show or something.
Of course.
Yeah.
So your newest project, which JB, of course, and everybody at San Diego Comic-Con were lucky enough to see this. Unfortunately, I was not there. Which is getting its premiere on September 24th for a 2-episode season premiere right after the NFL.
Right.
Of course, we're talking about the highly anticipated Dan Harmon show, Krapopolis. How did you get involved with this show? There you go. Yep.
We got the shirt. It was nice.
I want one of those.
Well, if it fits you, you can have it.
Large.
And it probably would, because I did not look good in it. It looked like a crop top. So for everyone else, I just didn't put it on.
What was the question?
How did you not how do you look in a crop top, which I'm sure is amazing, but how did you become involved with Krapopolis? A show that's been greenlit for 3 seasons, but we have yet to see a single episode yet.
It's like every other job I get. I was not working.
I was just hanging out.
Not doing anything. Someone said, hey.
I just finished Duncanville and I was like hanging out like I need a job, and then I get
whispered it into the world,
and then Dan Harmon came knocking,
and then I got a email or something, like, oh hey, would you like to go on a Zoom interview with Pete Michaels?
No big deal. Not a big deal. Not a problem.
Let me check my schedule. Yeah, I think
I'm like, let's see.
Very busy.
Pokemon Go. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta watch.
I already have that one. I've caught them all. I think I
gotta figure out what I'm eating for lunch today.
I'm watching the 200th episode of The Office. But I've seen it 100 times.
Third time. Yeah.
Like I can fit in a little.
Not too long.
That's so big of you to do that for them. That's good. Yeah.
I had nothing to do. Like, my McDonald's app is expiring, so
probably need to up.
Let me take care of that first. Yeah.
I want that Grimace milkshake. Anyway,
It's not bad.
It's not good.
Is it still around? Because I still want it.
I don't know, but
I don't think so.
I think it's over.
I think it's over, but it was basically just a grape milkshake.
All right, I'll just go to a Filipino restaurant and get a ube shake because.
Hey, Filipinos! I'm from Manila. Woo!
So, oh really?
Yeah.
I'm from Makati, which is next to Manila.
Yes, I'm going there in February for the first time in like 20 years. So it's gonna be fun.
Say hello to my cousins.
We'll do. We might be cousins for all I know. You never.
That's
know.
a good point. We might be.
Yeah, we might be.
What was the other part of the question?
I lost my place.
Getting Crapopolis.
Yeah, how did that come about? And then what's it like working with Dan Harmon and all them?
I never met that.
Yep, we get that a lot too. You know,
Okay, I think I met him when he was doing Harmon Quest.
Okay, yeah.
And that was for a different studio. I was just there because a friend of mine was there, and we're just hanging out. And I'm like, "That's Dan Harmon." I'm like, "Who's Dan Harmon?" I didn't know that he was the guy who did Community. I'm like, "Oh my god, I love Community," but I didn't know it at that time. It wasn't until I went home, like, "Oh shoot." You know,
I've been so focused on The Office, I missed it.
So, like, even he was right there, and I didn't. Anyway, so on Cropopolis we were working remotely, so I got on the show probably halfway in season 1, and but I was fortunate enough to have worked on multiple episodes. So even though I'm halfway through, even the first episode isn't done yet. So you get to work on a little bit of everything. So that was fun. So yeah, the production crew, actually everybody is amazing. I'm not just saying it because I need work, but
also they're all watching right now, just off screen. So you better choose your words wisely.
But no, they really are great, because I actually, without giving names, turned down an offer to work on a major show in a major studio. And I'm like, no, I like where I am on Carpopolis.
Yeah.
So, and I don't like to turn people down. I have a really bad habit of saying yes to everything, but I had to say no. Like, I would love to do that, and because it's popular and it's funny and it's awesome, but this is awesomer.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a word. Yep.
Sometimes when you have like a gig that's nice, you just like, I don't really feel like leaving it right now.
I just saw somebody say, "I'm excited to see Barbie" on the chat thingy.
Oh.
They're talking about Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, I had asked about that earlier before everybody came on. I was like, "Oh, anybody see Barbie yet?" It's a great movie. Go see it if you.
I haven't seen it yet, but my friend is in it.
Oh, who's your friend?
Alexander Shipp.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Margot Robbie. I was like, of course.
Yeah, we're neighbors. You know, Philippines and Australia.
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, no, I get it. I know Margot, of course.
Yeah,
of course I know her. She's a huge Harry Potter fan. Only friends would know that.
Yeah, duh.
She wore glasses on her birthday, and she doesn't need glasses.
She doesn't, but she's so humble. She was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna put on glasses.
Only friends
look at you.
would know that.
One of us.
Yeah.
So, coming into Crapopolis, which has already been greenlit for 3 seasons, is there a sense of is there relaxation knowing that, hey, we got 3 seasons, we don't have to go season to season? shows like Bob's Burgers, of course, for like the first couple of seasons, they were always like, we're not sure if we're getting renewed, blase, blase, blah. But Crapopolis, you already got 3.
The relaxation part for me is that I still have a job.
Yep.
Mhm.
The getting it right part tends to be just part of the process in any series.
Mhm.
Usually, the first season, everybody's just trying to figure everything out,
Yep.
creatively or even just production-wise, scheduling, the personnel. Because like, oh, this person's great at this, but not at this, so let's move them to do more of this. That kind of thing. Shuffling
Yeah.
people around for scheduling reasons. Also, so just the whole process and creatively, the writers are trying to and directors are trying to figure out what works and what doesn't in the first season. The first season is just a trial and run.
Mhm.
The second season is when, okay, I think we sort of got it. We're still working on it, but it's there. Third season is, I think, when you start polishing things.
Yeah. You kind of hit your stride in like seasons 3 and 4, and then
I don't know if you ever saw Star Trek Next Generation, but the first few seasons, like,
oh no,
like the costumes were like, oh my god, that's so bad. And then they changed in third or fourth season, and like, okay, now they look like officers.
yeah.
So I feel it's the same way with any series. It's the first years just really trying to figure out the story, the characters, and like, wait, that character doesn't do that stuff. So but you don't learn that until you're done with the first season and you go to the second season. Like, okay, now the characters are more consistent, except for The Office. Their characters tend to.
Again with The Office. This guy with The Office.
I'm a huge fan of The Office. I mean, it's like my number one series, but I know how inconsistent they are. Like the characters are like, wait, she's vegetarian in one season, the next season she's like eating.
No continuity. They had no layout artist.
So weird. But you let it go because you love the show.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, that in Krapopolis, you got. Oh my god, I'm blanking out on the name of the characters. Tyrannus. Delirium.
It's okay. In your defense, you've only worked on the show for a season or two, so it's. How would you know all the character names at this point?
Yeah, there's
I'm on
Tyrannus,
Hippocampus, Stupendous, and Schlub.
Schlub and Deliria.
Not really common names. And then we call them like short. We have nicknames for them, like Hip for Hippocampus, Tear for Tyrannus, Del for Deliria. So I forget their full names.
I know them because of the buttons.
Like,
so that helps.
He has a cheat sheet in front of him. He didn't recognize these.
I do. Yeah. No, I know them all.
I still question, like, is Hippocampus 2-piece or 1? So, I'm a stickler for spelling. So it's like, oh, I better get this right.
2.
It bugs me when I spell something wrong.
I mean, you did save that Egyptian museum, so yes.
Oh, by the way, I can read and write ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Because of course you can. Oh, wait, hold on. Now, was that before this show or because of this show?
No, when I was working for the engineering company, a friend of mine who was an environmental engineer left. Oh, this is so personal. Left a note on my desk, and the whole thing was written in Egyptian hieroglyphics.
That is some nerd
shit.
Yes.
I just
like
stared
Klingon or like Elvish.
What am I supposed to do with this? He
Translate
just smiled when I looked at it. Oh, you want me to figure it out? I had to teach myself how to read ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. She cheated because she went to school for that. I had to learn
Yeah,
it on my own. But after
even if that was like the antidote or the anti-venom for whatever was coursing through my veins, I wouldn't be able to figure it out and I would die. So good on you. Good
so
on you. I would have given up.
uh, I refuse to be beaten
by anyone.
by
I'm too
by a
I'm
piece
too
of
stubborn to figure it out, but I also won't say that somebody beat me either. I'll just keep on like I don't know. I didn't see the note. I don't know what you're talking about.
we moved on to other languages after that. It was Greek, Korean, Japanese, Spanish, uh, German, French, and then I got stuck on Russian.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the tricky
I
one.
like,
It's the
okay,
weird A's
yeah.
and R's. It's all messed
I'm
up.
tired of learning. I don't want to do this anymore.
Sir, I'm Filipino and I don't know a lick of Tagalog, so
I can teach you. After this, I'll teach you. Before you travel back, I know a
Yeah.
few non-curse words.
Well, then what good's that gonna do me?
It'll get you to the bathroom safer.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all
It's
right.
important.
Donde está los baños? You know.
So
Yes.
smooth. Such a beautiful language.
That's
So-
Spanish for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Spanish, yeah.
We get that. We get that.
I would love Mike to say that in Singapore. Let's go for that.
Yeah, I tried it in South Korea. They were like, "What the hell are you talking about? We speak English here." So JB, you were at San Diego Comic-Con and you said this that what was the fans' reaction to the episode that you saw, JB?
It was great. Everyone seemed very excited for it and was actually really into it. It wasn't just the free Snicker bars. We loved those too. But
They had Snicker bars.
Snicker bars,
you didn't
water
go to the
bottles,
panels?
popcorn. Yeah.
I couldn't go. I wanted to. I just finished working on a live action movie.
I just
so
happened to
tired.
be there. And
You
I
need
was
to figure
tired.
out your priorities, Peter. Is what I'm hearing. You need to figure out your priorities.
It's also hot in LA, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta drive to San Diego, and
Yeah.
I was hungry, and I gave
So you
up.
could have used the Snicker bar.
I definitely could. How was the
Mm.
Snicker bar?
It was delicious. It was the best $7 Snicker bar I've had in San Diego because I never buy them, so it was very good.
How was the premiere, the panel thingy?
Oh, it was great. We got in there. They made a couple jokes, and then we got to watch episodes 1 and 9, and both were great. And I remember telling Mike afterwards that I really enjoyed it. And then my buddy Adam, who was there, he's like, it's like not like annoying Rick and Morty. He's like, it's actually the good part of Rick and Morty. And we lost Mike, but oh well. And basically, like, I agreed. I loved the way it was set up. I thought it was fun. The jokes were pretty spot on. The animation was fun. Someone did get decapitated, so I wonder if that was what you were talking about earlier. And
oh wait, which episode?
I think it was episode 1 where he's just like at the dock, and then this thing just came down and grabbed someone's head. And he's like, "Oh yeah, you should watch out for that."
Yeah, well, that was in the trailer, so it's okay to talk about that.
But no, the episodes were great, and some of the jokes were a little dry. But then, like after about a minute, you're like, "Oh, I got that. That was good." And then it would usually come back later. So no, it was a solid show. I'm excited for it. Very excited.
Oh, I want to bring this up because it's rare for me to have this moment. But on my first week of work on Krapopolis, they told me, "Oh, here's some animatics. Go watch it and be familiar with the show and all that." And I did. The very first animatic I watched, I was laughing, and I'm like, and I caught myself going, "Whoa, that rarely happens when I work on a show." I worked on a lot of series, and I don't find myself laughing too much on the jokes. And that's why I really laughed out loud, and I was like, "Whoa, that's a different reaction. That is the coolest moment for me. Going, I'm gonna like this show."
It was very different from Solar Opposites premiere because we went into that before the Great North, and there was some funny jokes here and there, but it wasn't like Crapopolis where like people just kept laughing and it just kept going. And there really wasn't like, even the credit scenes are so different from other shows because they just kind of keep going. So then, like, if there's a run-on joke, they just kept going through the credits.
Yeah.
So then people would just lose it through the credits, and then there would be like the punchline at the very end. It was just really good. So I'm excited for it because it's not Rick and Morty. I love Rick and Morty, but at the same point, like, I don't like watching a ton of it at once. But Crapopolis, I feel like I could sit there and just keep watching it.
I think Rick and Morty, no offense to fans, can be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on all the time.
And that's kind of confusing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're only in the third season starting, but God, I wish I could talk about it. But
I mean, we can always have you back at the end of every season to talk about it. So then you're like, I can finally talk about this.
No, there's one episode I can tell you about the reaction. We were doing a table read, but it's Zoom.
Yeah.
And one of the actors was cracking up during
That's
the
a good
table
sign,
read.
too.
I'm like, that is like, and I was laughing at the same time too. So I'm like, whoa, that is a good sign. I love it when actors like couldn't contain themselves and they start cracking up on the jokes. And this was an actor who was not speaking. Just listening to the rest of them waiting for their line, and they burst out laughing, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to be on this episode so bad. I'm sure I will. It's just I made a comment like during the chat thing while we're watching the table read. I want to be on this episode was what I wrote on the chat.
Well, you put it out into the world, Peter. We know what happens with that, so you'll probably get it.
Hey, yeah.
Well, part of it is related to an upcoming series that we're going to talk about, actually.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So obviously not to get into too many spoilers because the show hasn't
Yep.
premiered yet, except for folks at Comic-Con like JB.
And we'd
there.
like Peter to keep his job, so we will keep it.
And we want Peter to keep his job, of
Which
course.
has been kind of the whole thing about this episode, guys. Keep your job as long as you can.
Do you have a favorite character on the show that you like to animate, or you like to work on storyboard and all that?
Are you talking about Crapopolis?
Yes, Crapopolis. Still on that, yeah.
Okay. Stupendous. Because she's big and she's a warrior, but she's gentle. So she'll beat the crap out of you, but she'll try not to.
In the episode we saw, she was throwing and going nuts, and she kept apologizing, like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Oh, I worked on that.
That was fun. Just like arms. I'm so sorry. I was like, this is
So
great.
yeah, she's fun to draw. Hippocampus is a real challenge to draw because
I would imagine
his head and body and the contraption that is on is like the contraption is like a walker.
Mm-hmm.
It's three wheels, and then his body is kind of limp, and so it's just hanging there.
Yeah.
and then his head is
Bizarre.
in a jar. Yeah.
His head is in an aquarium helmet thing. It's underwater.
It's very interesting.
Of course.
I need to stop there. I might reveal something.
Yeah. And also, he's Jesus. I'm like, oh shit! All right.
Right. So yeah, to draw the contraption is a challenge because the body is inside of it.
It's very interesting looking.
I mean, you can see it on the photos.
Oh yeah.
But if you're drawing a character without any of that stuff, it's easier. But then you got to deal with that contraption. So it's a challenge. Like I had to ask, does this change the angle when he moves? Like if there's an incline or something, you know, how does he walk on stairs?
Yeah,
That's a
no,
good
it's just
question.
all these things you got to think of.
You
Otherwise,
have
we're
to
gonna come at
ask
you.
those practical questions like, how does he sit down?
It's
Mm-hmm.
like, Peter, you're
It's
overthinking it,
really,
man. Just draw it, move on.
I mean, we're all faking it, but I still need to know how it works so you know where to fake
Yeah,
it
yeah,
and
yeah,
how
yeah,
to
yeah.
fake
Absolutely.
it. It's like, so yeah, he is quite a challenge, and I had to like, how do you do this?
How does
You know,
this
I'll ask the
work?
director,
Mm-hmm.
like, can I change this? You know, like, oh, it cool. So yeah, I have to
Well,
ask
also
those.
there's not much in the way of reference for you to for like somebody to say like, oh, well, it moved like X, Y, and Z character. Like, there's obviously tons of shows where they have like human characters, and you can always
Mm-hmm.
reference another show and say it moves like Bob or it moves like Linda. Here, this character is one of
Very
a
unique.
kind.
Very unique.
So there's really no reference for it. You are making up the
Mm-mm.
reference as you go. So
The funny thing is, half my questions doesn't get answered because they're like, I don't
yeah,
know.
We got to talk to the character designer, and then we'll
Yeah,
talk to Dan, and we'll get back to you.
yeah, exactly. It's still season one. We're still trying to figure everything
I'm
out.
so glad that you gave me that answer of I don't know because in JB I'll let you ask this question because you brought it up. Go ahead, JB, take it away.
What question is that?
Oh, the question. Okay. What everybody tells us this show is on the blockchain.
Oh yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Dan
That's
Harmon doesn't
why.
know either.
I know. So,
Nobody
see,
knows.
I learned that from Dan Harmon. Like, I don't know. So I'm gonna give the same answer he gave. I don't know. It was explained to me, and I think it went one ear and one.
We tried at last year's Comic-Con. We asked Bento. We asked folks at Crapopolis. We asked the folks at Animation Domination, and nobody knew. So you're like, all right.
They're like, we'll let you know when we get an answer.
Also, here's a
And we're like,
chicken.
okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, I can give you an answer, but I'm afraid somebody who knows better will correct me, and I'm like, I'll just say I don't know, because what I know is very limited on NFTs and blockchain and all that
That
stuff.
seems to be the going answer we
about
get
the
from
same
everyone.
place.
Mm.
Yeah, we know about the same amount.
I would love to be part of it, half of me, and the other half is like,
It's too much.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's just making a cartoon, man.
A friend of mine was like, I'm willing. She was willing to explain it all to me, and I haven't gotten back to it.
I'd rather go and I don't know, translate hieroglyphs.
Yeah,
than hear
that
about
makes more sense.
That, oh my god, it's so much easier because it's phonetic.
Yeah.
Can't speak blockchain.
So moving off of Crapopolis and our last little tidbit.
What?
Yeah, we've almost had you for 2 hours. First off, thank you very much for sitting down.
And
with us.
we don't want to get you in any trouble.
Yeah, I'd ask you what your favorite episode is, but spoilers and all.
Oh no, I'll give you my favorite episode.
Okay, go ahead in full detail. Go.
I don't know.
No. This is like asking a parent who their favorite child is. We all know you have one. You gotta pick.
No, I will explain why. It's because season 1 and season 2 kind of overlap when I'm working on it. That I don't know which is season 1 and which is season 2.
Mm-hmm.
We hear this a lot from you guys.
A
lot of I don't knows out of the Crapopolis camp right now.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, but it overlapped, and you don't work in season 1 and then season 2 and you forget about season 1. No, they're still working on season 1 while you're doing season 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it overlaps, and you're doing both in the same year.
Oh no, we get it. We've asked Simon Chong questions before about episodes he's directed, and he's like, "Did I direct that?" It's like, I think I did. That sounds somewhat familiar.
I have to go to my assistant director and like, that episode where we did this, is this still on? You know, this there was this thing where I got to kill somebody,
Ooh.
and it was so.
We're still talking about the show, right? This isn't like
Yeah,
a weekend thing. Okay.
yeah, Krapopolis, not real life, but
Okay.
Yes.
and this one director who I have never worked with, he goes, "Oh, you're gonna love this because you get to kill somebody." I'm like, awesome! I never get to kill anybody. So, can you edit that out? But
Nope. That's gonna be
that's
on
gonna be
all
the
the clips.
soundbite. I don't get to
That
kill
and the
anybody.
knob thing are gonna be the only clips we put out.
They call me Nobby.
Nah, boy.
What's that guy's name in Harry Potter? Sounds
Dobby.
Dobby. I'm
We'll be
Nobby.
Nobby.
Peter.
I'm his little brother
Peter, yeah.
Just walking
Peter
around,
Nobby.
just pulling things. Yeah.
with my ears. And anyway, I get to kill some characters, and I don't know if it made it in the final because they always rewrite stuff. So never fall in love with your work because it could just not even happen.
Hey, I hate
just
my
do the
job
work.
every day, so I get it.
So, but I had fun doing it, and the director just like, do your thing. It was cool, so I got to design how the characters died. I got to kill two of them. I can't name who they are because it might reveal the episodes. I'm like, oh.
Exactly. That's why we don't get you in trouble.
So, but I'll just say I got to kill some characters, but I'm not sure if it made it in the final. That's the thing. So, soon as I figure out what season that is,
Mm-hmm.
and if you want me back, you'll probably I'll
Absolutely.
reveal. I might even show you the artwork.
Yes.
Prepared.
Yes.
And like, okay, so this didn't get used, but here's the characters. I actually designed the characters that I killed.
Nice.
I killed my own.
Okay, it's
Killed.
allegedly. Yes. Yeah.
So it was so cool.
Nice.
By the way, there is a decapitation in it.
Ooh.
That isn't seen in the trailer, right? Or are we talking about the same one?
No, not even that episode.
No, it's a
all
different
right.
one.
Confirmed, folks. 2 decapitations in the show so far. So the final tidbit that we have is another tidbit that we have found. You are working on an animated series short for Zack Snyder's upcoming Netflix movie Rebel Moon, which was initially a Star Wars project. Oh no! Why are my notes not updated?
I sent them to you.
You did not.
Okay. Let me correct that one. It's not Rebel Moon.
Okay.
It's
it's
not a movie. It's a series called Twilight of the Gods.
Ooh, I like that title better.
It's Norse mythology.
Oh, even better.
I really cannot talk about this because
cut it out. It's bad enough. I messed up the title already. We're good. We're good.
Okay. I can't talk about because Netflix is very hush hush on.
Of course, yeah.
On the stuff, and the only thing they've released is like the actors.
Okay.
That's it. So if you go online, look it up, you can see who.
All right.
From Walking Dead, from Lord of the Rings, from all this.
Wow. They got
and some Marvel series shows also, including Star Wars actually. But it's Norse mythology. That's all I can say.
Oh, see, so I was kind of right. I said Star Wars. I was kind of right. Just my notes weren't updated.
So yeah, I meant one of the actresses.
Yeah.
Doing the voice. Did one of the Star Wars movies. It's rated R. It's anime style.
Oh.
For sex and violence.
Nice.
and
That's all you
Yeah.
can tell us now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd have to
So,
decapitate us.
Yeah.
the tone is
Dark.
grim, serious.
I mean, it's Norse. Norse
It's not
mythology
a
is
light
pretty
romp.
grim and pretty awful at
It's
times.
more close to the mythology than Marvel. Well, and I love the Thor. Thor's my favorite, by the way. So to be able to work on a Norse mythology
Yeah. This
series,
is not going to be that Thor, though.
yeah. Oh God, no.
Yeah, you're right. Screw Thor. Yeah, I hear you guys. No, I
Uh,
agree.
Because
I didn't have to draw this blonde hair, God of Thunder flying. There was none of that. I don't think I even worked on a scene with him in it. I did get. Okay, I'll stop there.
Yeah,
that's fine. I think it sounds a lot like Neil Gaiman wrote a book that's Norse mythology, and it goes into all the little stories and stuff, and he kind of dumbs it down so you can get it. And it was already gritty when he wrote that, so I
Yeah.
can only assume that this will, if it's anime style and it's R, we're gonna get all of what you talked about, which is just there's a lot of violence, a lot of just betrayal, and a lot of just not great times.
Yeah.
Which is fun to animate. So good.
But I had so much fun working on it. It was very cool because it's different from what I've normally done. Very not Disney, and I'm
Nope.
so used to doing Disney cutesy.
It's not cutesy.
Peach
And it's anime. It's gonna be. It's very
Pooh or
different style.
Blonde.
It's cool.
I none of that. Closest would be How to Train Your Dragon, because it had Vikings um, and we were always told not to make anything cartoony when we did dragons, so the acting had to be natural and not exaggerated.
No flailing arms or any of
No,
that.
yeah, no SpongeBob like. It, we had
So
to tone
the
everything
characters
down.
are grounded a little bit in reality.
Very much grounded. So dragons had to be the closest to what I did on Twilight, and it was fun. I love drawing more realistically than cartoony, even though I do a lot of cartoony stuff. Um, came from an illustration background, so I'm more used to doing real people and real proportions. So yeah, it was fun. Unfortunately, I had to leave the show because I was scheduled to be on another show, so I had to leave for that. And I was really sad because by the time I was leaving, I was finally getting into the feel of the show.
right.
The first few
Just
first
got a
month,
taste of it.
yeah, I was still kind of struggling, and it was during the pandemic. I was having issues, so like I had a hard time working at home when the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
um, I normally don't like to bring work home, so when I had to work at home, oh my god, I really struggled trying to work. I could not productive. Took me 3 months to get into being productive, but and then later on I got Twilight of the Gods, and but it's a new style, and I had to adapt to that, and oh, and then this is gonna be funny to hear. I I was looking at the other artists' work, and they were so good that it was intimidating. I kind of like, oh my god, I need to level up. it's one of those times when you feel like I don't belong here. This guys are amazing. All the artists on the show are the best, and I felt like this small, and I had a scene that, what can I say, has horses. And
All
I
right, all right. Confirmed horses.
I
Okay.
worked on the movie Spirit.
I
the
can
one
see
the
the figure.
original. Oh yeah, Spirit. And I forgot how to draw horses. Well, I forgot how the joints work. Like the
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
leg, the back legs joints are different. And every time I drew it, I just hated what I drew. That I had to stop working and go, okay, stop it. I I spent a few hours just watching videos of horses, looking at horses' anatomy and construction, and I started drawing them. And I actually posted it on Instagram so you can see like my horse studies. And after I felt confident, I went back like, okay, now I'm gonna start drawing. Then I started feeling like, okay, I belong now.
Once you got the horses down,
I
everything else
Yeah,
came
because
naturally.
the other artists were just so good. I
Yeah.
mean, uh, it's awesome when you work with people are just amazing. And I don't know who they are. I never met them because it's all online. But I see their work, and you're
Mhm.
like, damn, these guys are amazing. I still get, I mean, awe of people I work with on Cropopolis or Twilight, and I see their work and like, oh man, why didn't I do that? Or I wish I came up with that because it's funny, it's drawn
Mhm.
really well. I'm not like on model or anything, but the acting is like perfect, so
Well, don't
good.
sell yourself short. I mean, you're up there for a reason, so you're obviously as good as they are. Otherwise, they wouldn't have you there. So don't
Well,
sell yourself
I study
short.
the horses, so I'm back. I'm back.
There you go. Yeah, see, yeah. Just watch a couple horse videos and you're all set.
But that's my lesson number two.
For
Observation
all
skills, adapting skills, and draw horses.
horses.
Yeah, third, draw horses.
All right, Chad. If you're paying attention, and drawing the horses.
Mhm.
Well, Peter, we've had you on for damn near 2 hours. This is probably one of our longest interviews ever. We
I know.
really appreciate
I'm
you.
It
so
was
sorry.
good.
I brag
No.
everything.
No,
We
not at
love
all. No.
this. We love it.
Yeah. But thank you very much for sitting down with us, answering our silly little questions here, and giving us as much Crapopolis as you could.
We'll
without giving
definitely
us
we'll
too
definitely have you
much.
come on when you're like watching. You're like, that's my episode. I can talk about it
Yes.
now. Like we'll have you
Yeah.
on and you can talk about it again.
We'll do
Can I
a
say
we'll do a
something?
screening party with you.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
What's this?
oh,
What's
that's
this?
fun.
Is it a blanket?
It's a beach blanket.
Ooh.
Oh wait, it's
One
upside
of
down.
those very cool cast gifts that they hand out to everybody but us.
Yeah. In their defense, we're not on the show.
True. That's
Very
very
nice.
true.
Oh, I love it.
That's super nice.
So this was
Holy
their summer gift.
I saw the
That
crew.
means there's
Yeah,
a-
I saw the crew hoodie that you posted a while ago. That's a nice
So,
little gift.
So when I go to the beach, I have to use this.
Yes.
Of course.
I have
Of
to
course.
show my swag.
Yeah, people got to know that I got this.
Look, Krapopolis.
They got to know I'm on a show.
Humongous. It's so big.
Yeah, it looks big.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's meant for a horse. So
yeah,
Yeah, it's a horse blanket.
yeah, it's for Spirit. Yeah.
We're professionals at this. We got this. We got
Yes.
this. We got this. But no, the audience has loved it. We appreciate you answering the questions as much as you can, especially for a show that hasn't come out yet.
yeah,
Unfortunately, I haven't seen it. JB has. He says it's fantastic.
it's awesome. I'm
Uh,
excited for when it comes out.
Oh well, thank you for. I just noticed what people are writing. Thank you for everybody
yeah.
watching. Thank you guys for inviting me, and thank you Adam for being the coolest person I met on at Comic-Con.
Oh, okay.
Well,
okay.
Adam
okay.
beco-
I wasn't
yeah.
there. I wasn't there. So
When
that
Adam's
makes
at
sense.
Comic-Con, he is like in his element. So
He is.
he's
yeah.
like everybody's buddy, and like he's a good person anyway.
I
So
it was by chance that I met him because I was just walking to my friend's booth. I couldn't even walk around much because my leg was hurting. So
Mhm.
and then I saw them giving out buttons for
Yep.
Krapopolis.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, I want one. And then
all
he said,
you have to do is say you work on the show, and Todd will get you
Yeah.
all of them and hand them over to you.
well, I don't know, but Adam was telling me about the show, and I told him like, yeah, I know, I worked on it.
You don't need to tell me about the show.
And
Just give me the
Then
button.
all of a sudden, I'm helping him giving out buttons. And then
Well done, Adam. Well done.
when people walk
Put him to work.
by, I was telling them about the show. You know, Adam would start something like, yeah, it's on Sunday nights. And then I'll finish it off with, but Monday on Hulu, you know, Sunday nights on Fox and Mondays on Hulu. But on the because the first time it comes out, it's after the NFL thing. But the regular Sundays, it'll be after The Simpsons,
Yep.
but before Bob's Burger. So I wanted to sneak in Bob's Burger in there.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, you come work the booth with us.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
So
We'll
yeah,
tell
I
Todd.
just happened to be walking by, and I'm like, oh, cool, buttons.
Yeah. Yeah, last year they had a whole photo set or area where you could take photos and had like little props and everything.
Yeah.
Someone
That's
stole
pretty
the
cool.
axe, but yeah.
Yeah, somebody stole the axe.
You're just like, oh, look, he looks so easily drawn on this. But I struggle just figuring out how he moves.
Well,
Yeah.
again, Peter, we can't thank you enough, and we'd love to have you back on once the show actually premieres so we can actually get into the wall. But yeah, I don't know. JB, anything else?
Not that I can think of. I have a lot of Krapopolis questions, but we'll wait.
We'll wait till we can do spoilers.
But
Yeah.
do you have one Krapopolis question you want to throw in? Because I hardly answered any questions from you.
Yeah.
Well, you answered my decapitation question, which is a good one. Let's see.
You're on the spot, JB.
I know. I mean, a lot of my questions are going to be when they come back in person with the panels. I love Richard Ayoade and I love the cast, so I'm excited for that. Animation-wise, I'm curious if there's other, and you probably can't answer this, but I want to know if there's other hippocampuses or other creatures like him that we're going to see. Yeah, I don't want to get you in trouble, Peter.
He's like, you get one question. He's like, damn it, I can't answer your one question.
You answered the one I can't. Why do you do this?
Can you ask another question?
How many episodes are in the first season?
I have no idea.
Oh God!
I'm sorry, they just blend in. Like I don't know. I should know, but I don't. I'm bad with numbers, so that's my excuse. For me, season 1, season 2 just blended in. So it could have been a dozen, but you know,
Could be more,
could be
could
wrong.
be less.
Peter, we've asked 2 questions, and your answers have been, I don't know, and I can't answer.
I can talk about more shows that haven't come out.
Maybe stop working on shows that haven't come out yet.
Yeah,
Peter.
stop working on shows.
I can't.
I can't say no. We went over this.
I actually did a thing where I was telling some friends I have one series being animated in Korea, that's Krapopolis.
Mm-hmm.
Another series being animated in France, that's Twilight of the Gods.
Mm-hmm.
Live action / animated hybrid short being animated in Mexico
Oh my god.
simultaneously.
So you're
So it
working
makes
on so
sense.
much that you can't talk about.
Well, then there's the live action one that I did last week.
Hmm. Seeing a
And
trend here.
then I'm doing one this week. I'm assuming it's a series. I didn't even ask, but
But you can't tell us.
I can't tell you the name of the show. I think I can say it.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Uh, if I'm not allowed, Rachel, you can kill me. But it's called Camp Snap of Feathers.
Camp Snap-O Feathers or Camp Snap-O Feathers? Okay.
Okay.
It's a summer camp.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. That's going on our Twitter right away. No.
Yeah. My
Well-
next question is like, what's it about? And be like, no, you can't answer that.
No, because we it's actually okay if we post our drawings of it.
Oh, okay.
And one of the board artists actually posted her drawings.
Is this a like a streamer? Is it for a streaming service or is it for like a traditional channel?
That hasn't been established yet.
Okay. All right. A lot of non-answers coming from you tonight.
I'm really good at giving non-answers.
You really got that company line down. I don't know.
I can't answer Space Jam questions or Winnie the Pooh questions if you want, or toothless questions. Green eggs and ham. I know it's nothing to do with your show.
Oh my god.
They've been. I'm so sorry.
I've never been more mad at a fellow Filipino in my life, Peter.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna go back there and I'm like, "Do you guys know Peter?" He's like, "Yeah, that guy's mean. Won't tell me nothing."
Probably be his cousins.
Yeah, you guys know cousin Peter? He's a jerk.
Let's see. Do they know me by that name?
Yeah, we all know you. You know Peter Paul? Yeah.
No, I don't think they know about
I'll
Peter.
pull up
Paul.
your Instagram and I'm like, this guy. And he's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they would.
Oh, I know somebody who knows you probably. I'll see you at the reunion. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. I'll see you there. We'll share some lumpia. We'll share some stories, and you can tell me all about Crapopolis.
You're in Ohio, right?
I'm in
No,
Florida. JB's in Ohio.
Oh, you're in Florida. You're in Ohio.
Yeah.
My brother is in Maryland.
I used to live in Northern Virginia.
The movie that I can't talk about is
God bless it, Peter.
shot in. It's gonna be shot in Maryland.
It's the Passion of the Christ too. That's what he's working on, everybody.
There's
I
a
don't know.
sequel.
I don't think there could be a sequel to that.
Yeah. Resurrection Day. Yeah.
That's called Resurrection.
It's called Resurrection. Easter.
It's like cue the T2 sound effect.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I did an Easter movie called Hop.
Oh, you can talk about that. Okay.
That Easter Bunny movie with James Marsden, Haley Cuoco.
Peter.
I can talk about Alvin and Chipmunks too.
The squeakquel.
The Squeakquel. I think I lost him.
You tell me one more thing you can't talk about, I swear to God.
No, I can't talk
No,
about
he can. He can.
Oh, somebody loved Hop. Thank you so much.
Abby, stop it. Stop encouraging him.
I love working on those shows because, again, like I mentioned earlier, you work on location, and we were working on this like $1 million home in Thousand Oaks area in California, and we had to wear plastic coverings on our shoes. I think they're booty something. Forgot what it's called. Uh, but the floors were covered with cardboard and plastic, and we still had to wear covers on our shoes
Mm-hmm.
because it's somebody's $1 million home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We were shooting in. So
Very hoity-toity about that.
yeah, it was amazing. And I was looking over the valley, and this one guy goes, "You see that house over there? Will Smith." Oh crap!
Oh.
You throw a rock at it.
The guy had like I don't know, 8 garages or something.
Oh, jeez.
That's just crazy.
It's too much. I have 2 bedrooms.
See, I talked about stuff.
Thank you. Yes. Now, how does that relate to Crapopolis?
Because what I learned there, I bring to Krapopolis.
More importantly, what role does Will Smith play in Crapopolis? Go.
He made us forget things.
Neuralizer. Gotcha. All right.
And we have the same birthday,
Wait, what's your birthday? What's Will Smith's birthday? I have no idea.
September 25,
It's a day after my anniversary. All right.
which is
So we're all September
your
23rd.
anniversary, September 24.
September 23rd.
So 2 days after.
Oh, I thought you said your birthday was the 24th.
No, 25.
Oh, 25. Okay, and then 2 days.
So Krapopolis comes out on September 24th.
There you go. Yeah, see, it all
Yes.
loops back around to the show he can't tell us about.
It all goes back to Krapopolis.
It's all cyclical.
You're all gonna love it.
So September 25th, the 2-episode premiere after all the NFL games are done. You
Yeah.
too can see episode 1 and 2 of Crapopolis season 1 that Peter cannot tell us about or refuses to tell us about.
Is anybody gonna watch the NFL thing?
You'd be surprised. We watched the college football championship game just to see the Bob's Burgers movie trailer. So
Okay, I understand.
yeah,
We did a 4-hour live stream waiting for that
Yeah.
thing to happen.
Yeah, it was.
So
Well,
I
some
just thought of this, and it's not a requirement, but I think it would be funny if when you watch Krapopolis again. I just thought of it just now. I'm not setting it up. It would be funny if you're watching it and you're eating chicken or Greek food.
I could do that.
Okay.
Because
I will.
the
Yeah.
NFT are chickens.
Yeah. Okay, I'll have because I have to watch it on Hulu because I don't have cable. So I'll have a chicken sandwich while I
I'll
watch
get
Crapopolis.
a gyro and some hummus.
A gyro would be good. Everybody needs a gyro. Get
I
it?
feel like if I eat chicken, though, I'm
No,
going
no,
against
no.
the show. So.
No, Peter. Stop it. Stop it.
Sorry.
You're not invited back to the islands if you keep doing that.
Great.
Shucks.
Well,
You're persona non grata in the Philippines.
have a Greek wine while you're watching.
All right. Maybe some Greek yogurt.
Tuzo.
Greek yogurt. There's a wine called Hermes.
Okay.
It's Greek, isn't it? Hermes.
Sure.
I have no
Gotta
idea.
be.
It's a Greek god of speed, so it's Mercury.
Sure.
So
Yeah. Don't drink mercury, everyone. Don't do that.
Don't drink mercury, regardless of what Peter said. Don't drink mercury.
I played with Mercury when I was a kid.
God bless it. Okay, no. We're putting a pin on this thing. I have to be up at 6 a.m, Peter. You save this for part 2.
Well, nobody said you're not supposed to play with it.
Peter, everybody said that.
Well, nobody told me.
Well, you weren't listening. They treated Mercury like Crapopolis. They won't tell you everything. They can't tell you everything about it. They just tell you little bits.
Well, I was smart enough not to look at.
Were you though? Were you?
Okay, I licked the lead of a pencil.
There you go. I was saying we've been with you for 2 hours now, and I feel like you might have.
all that poison just made me stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Going way beyond what I'm supposed to talk about.
That's what I tell people. Like when I got hit by a car, I'm like, it just made me stronger. It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. You can do it.
Like how long do you have to wait before you eat something that you drop on the floor? 2 seconds?
5 seconds.
5 minutes.
Yeah,
5 minutes.
it'll take a
Seems
little longer than
much.
A lot of paint chips as a kid, I see. A lot of paint chips for you there, Peter.
No, it's all good.
Just mercury.
Mercury made me go faster. Quicksilver.
And from the Great North to Wonder Wharf, your one-stop destination for bento box information. As always,
For poison control.
hand to God, Peter. Hand to God.
Greek god. Greek god.
Hermes.
I'm gonna jab these pods into my eyes.
That's Mike.
Wait,
I'm JP.
wait, is that on an episode?
I will. Peter,
Oh my god, that is on an episode.
what's in an episode?
What you just said.
Pods in my eyes? No, I don't trust you.
Close enough. It's in the trailer.
I'm not even sure you even worked on the show. I feel like you might have just been joking with us for the last 2 hours. I think you've been lying to us.
No, the trailer where the guy puts on the helmet thingy and then he stabs his eye with the thing.
I think he does. I think he is saying the truth.
It's in the very first trailer for Krapopolis.
Yeah, but like everything else he's been lying about, JB. I don't think he's on the show.
It was the anti-Medusa thing.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
I think so, yeah.
They showed it a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right, September 26th, Peter. We're gonna have you back on here to tell us everything about season 1.
If I haven't been poisoned by mercury, I will be here.
Yes, I or me. I will mail you mercury.
I'm like break out those thermometers because
Oh, that's how I know we're old because you're talking about mercury and thermometers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God Almighty.
Yeah, it's still good.
Where else can you find mercury? I'm not talking digital thermometers. I'm talking old school.
I just want to go to bed.
That's Mike. I'm JP. And this is Peter. He worked on Krapopolis.
Oh my god! It's only 7 o'clock over here, so I forget how late it is where you are. I'm so sorry.
Yes, it's tomorrow already. We're not down the road, Peter. Otherwise, we would have come by and said hi.
I'm so sorry. Wait, what?
We're not young, spry men like you. Okay, we gotta go to bed.
11.
Almost.
I need to be. I should have been in bed an hour and 20 minutes ago.
He's true. He has a timer on his phone.
You going that early?
He's not meant to be an animator.
Not gonna talk shit to me on my own show, Peter. I swear to God.
I'm sorry. I'm a night owl, so I don't sleep till 4 in the morning.
It's only 7 there, Peter. All right, it's not that late. Here, though, it is.
I don't wake up until like midnight.
You're just like my wife. Stays up super late. Night owls. Night owls, the whole lot of you.
We're night owls, vampires.
No, I gotta be up at 6 a.m. Not all Filipinos get to sleep until midnight there, Peter. Okay, so I almost gotta get up.
Fine.
Not gonna make me feel bad. All right, everybody.
Wow, this is really personal.
I'm just trying. Oh, this has been From the Great North to Wonder Wharf, your one-stop destination for bento box information. As always, I'm Mike.
I'm JB. That's Peter.
That's Peter. Don't you say anything, Peter. Don't you say anything. Don't you say anything. Yes. Wait. No. Is that from Clerks the animated series?
He worked on it.
No. Shut up. No. Next time. No, because that. No. Damn it. I love that. No. Damn it.
That was my first Disney show.
No.
We will talk about this in our chat, Peter.
No.
Okay,
we're going to bed. Everybody's going to bed.
Move my head. There, it doesn't.
See, you were blocking it the whole time. Hmm.
I mean, if I move the camera, you'll see other stuff behind me.
If I move the camera, I'm going to throw it off the table, and you're just going to see the ceiling, and I'm going to bed.
Ooh, Blair Witch Project.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. I'm so sorry I cut everybody off.
No.
I'm a night owl. I'm so sorry.
It's only 7 p.m., Peter.
For him.
Yeah, for him. All right, good night. We're going to do a little wrap up, and then, Peter, thank you again. In all seriousness, thank you again for stopping by, and we'd love to have you on again.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely to talk about Clerks, now that I know, because it wasn't in my notes. We are definitely going to talk about Clerks. Absolutely love that. Nobody knows about that, and I absolutely love that cartoon. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Do you have
This
another
has
show
been-
where it's just about Clerks? Because I can go on and on about Clerks.
I know, that's why I'm trying to put a pin
We'll
in
do a
this.
separate show. It'll be a special. All right, Mike, go to bed before you get angry and get tired.
All right. Thank you. And
Thank you.
for inviting me. I know it's the worst thing you ever did ever, but
No, this
No.
is one of the better interviews we've done. We'd love to have you on again. Maybe when Tuesday is a holiday and I don't have to get up at 6, but whatever.
every day's a holiday.
I can't with you right now. I can't with you right now. Your positive attitude and your ability to just keep talking is gonna kill me.
I'll okay. Double zip.
You can't talk and then you can't zip and then talk. All right, okay.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
I'll do this.
Good night, everybody.
Wait, how does
Before he
50?
gets on again.
there
No,
a-
stream's over.